And we're in the car, and Billy's like, somebody's in the back seat. I'm like, no, Billy, we didn't stop anywhere. We were going 55, 65 miles an hour. Nobody got, all right, you're right. So he would talk himself back. But
he did, yeah. He and I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, he actually, if you take it back, after he was released from prison, remember when he came to visit us?
Yeah.
And he apologized to us and he thanked us. And that's when we started this rapport with him. And he went around to various conferences with us, and we gave a presentation on that situation that night. And then he spoke and gave his perspective from a veteran with mental illness's point of view. And I mean, I remember he got a standing ovation in Baltimore.
When we were in the National, there were hundreds of people. I mean, there was over 1,000 people there. There were hundreds of people coming to take a picture with him and shake his hand and thank him, because the sharing of that experience, that side, you never get that side of it. And he was willing to do that with us. And I'm still great friends with him. He's an amazing guy. He has a couple kids now. So
yeah, he's in a much better place now.
I guess maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that wouldn't have happened. The sniper would have took a headshot. Obviously, he's shooting up the neighborhood. He's shooting near the SWAT team that's on scene. I mean, that stepping back and looking at the situation shows progress. It shows that taking each case for what it was, you guys, kudos to you guys for realizing that this is a veteran. Not that gives you a free pass to shoot up the neighborhood or some lawn ornaments, but know a little bit about mental health awareness, and kind of back off of the headshot and taking them out and basically an execution. And here he's married with 2 kids. And when he got out, he made his rounds and reintroduced himself. And they won't say it, but although he got shot, non-fatally, obviously, he credits these 2 guys, Dave and Chris, with saving his life.
It's more than just Dave and I. I mean, the kudos goes out to everybody that was there. I mean, Dave and I are sitting here now, but there was other negotiators there, and there was a SWAT team there, and it was a team effort. I don't want to.
Dave, you're freaking godfather of one of his children, so come on.
But he had a phenomenal rapport with Chris, myself, our sergeant. There was another negotiator, Kate. So if he had any issue, he would immediately call us, and which is, you develop that relationship, and we would always be there for him.
We used to go to the 4th of July picnic, remember?
Yeah, I just went. 4th of July, I was at his house with his parents.
See that? I mean, being in a standoff shootout situation with a perp and to be barbecuing together, that's crazy. Hey, that should be an episode.
It definitely has a unique dynamic to the story.
Yeah, but I think it's a character to you guys. I mean, to you 2 guys too.
His parents have always maintained a phenomenal open relationship with
people.
us. They always call us, so always wishing well when they hear news out there. So, but yeah, it's the village.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Hey, Tats, what do you think about Pennsylvania as a whole when it goes above the county level to the state crime lab stuff, and even some of the state mandates with mental health and how that plays a part, from toxicology being mental health to even substance abuse being mental health? What trends do you see statewide where you practice?
Okay, I don't practice. I'm not an attorney.
I know, where you assist in criminal trials.
So, my opinion for mental health when it comes to criminal justice and just in our society in general goes back to the 1980s and 1990s when we closed mental hospitals. And I think since then we've had an influx of people with mental health issues into our society, and those people pressed the system for resources that were not there. Now we're seeing mental health facilities and providers who are burned out because they see so many patients with differing problems. Patients are not getting seen, on an intake basis. We just had a client who was trying to get seen for a psychiatry an appointment and had to wait 7 months. So if you are, trying to get help for your mental health and you got 7 months to wait, let's say she had PTSD, she didn't, but she had PTSD or she had some sort of intervening action or crisis or trauma that happened to her. And now you're telling her, okay, well, you can wait 7 months to see this provider. So I do see a very much a correlation between like an intersection between not having enough mental health facilities or not having enough mental health resources in our society, and then an uptick of what these guys have probably seen in their law enforcement career, with what they just described. What's the solution to that? I honestly don't know. I think it also intersects a lot with our healthcare issue in this country, with what will and will not be, covered. If you have someone who tries to kill themselves and then they say, okay, well, we'll pay for a 3-day stay. That's not something that's going to be cured in a 3-day stay. And then, or somebody who admits that they have an addiction problem, we'll give you 48 hours in a facility, but then we're going to turn you right back out to where you were tempted, where you can, right where you came from, that fed that addiction anyway. So I think there's a lot of conversation to be had with it.
Aftercare seems to be what you're talking about. Follow up, aftercare.
But I think there's a lot of conversation that is to be had.
I think, when you mentioned that the mental health facilities were closed down back in the 80s, unfortunately, a lot of people that could use those facilities, they wind up in prisons. Prisons
Right.
have become where they're going now because there's nowhere else for them.
And there's very little mental health facility or mental health resources in prison. I'm not saying there's none.
They
There's
have them, but they're
definitely some.
limited, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, oversaturated with the people who need them.
Right.
Yeah.
While we're talking, I'd like to segue into your foundation. And